Hi folks, this is Meredith from the Papery Craftery. I am so excited today to finally share how to make Vortex coils. I have been struggling, to be honest. For some reason, this is the quilling that I could not master. But finally, watching many other people's videos, I have figured it out. I want to especially thank Azlina Abdul. Her Vortex quilling videos unlock the key. I finally understand it. So I'm using her technique today to show how to make these coils. First thing you need is your paper of choice. I am using 3/8 inch wide paper strips from Quilted Creations, really just to demonstrate for this video. I think it's a little bit easier to see on the wide paper. I'm going to be using a needle tool. If you want to use a slotted tool to roll your paper, you can, but you will need something kind of pointy to spread out your vortex. So I recommend having one of these handy, even if you're not using it to roll, or like a toothpick or even a pair of tweezers, something that you can use. You'll see in a little bit. You're going to need, very important, a circle template. These are not expensive. I will find one to link. Mine is obviously very old and well loved from other craft projects, but this is important. I thought I would be able to use my circle template on the back of my cork board, specifically made for coils, but because it's got that rough cork, it's not going to do the job. You want a smooth surface. Even my workstation isn't smooth enough. So you can use something like a plastic sheet underneath your template, or even what I'm going to do is take my wax paper and put it on my cork board and then put my template on top. And I will show you why in just a moment. You're also going to need your glue of choice. As always, I have my needle nose bottle here with a little bit of Elmer's glue all. First things first is rolling up your quilling paper. I would recommend avoiding really thick paper when you're just learning how to do this, or a heavier weight quilling paper. A lot of my paper that I prefer to use for different shapes, I like the heavier paper in my day-to-day quilling, but having a little bit of a smoother or a less heavyweight paper really will make your coils a little bit easier to shape. You can use whatever length you'd like to use. This is about 18 inches long, and I'm just rolling it from end to end. This step, now, super important. When you get to the end of your coil, you're going to pinch one side really hard, and then you're going to pinch the other side really hard. This can be a little bit of work. It's not easy to pinch large coils like this. You can use some tweezers or whatever tool. Just, you want to get these points, because these points are what's going to make that vortex shape, where it has sort of the little ridges in it. Now, don't let that open up at all. You're going to put your coil in one of the holes on your template. You want it to be a little bit bigger than what the paper is going to be. Not super big, but you want it to be able to stretch out. You can see it starts to possibly unravel a little bit. You don't have to wait till that stops. You can get to the next point whenever you are ready. What you're going to do is gently hold the outside while helping the inside keep unraveling. So you can see that I'm kind of poking it in a small little circle with my needle tool, just nudging it gently and guiding it to just keep opening. It can take a while, and sometimes, especially once that center gets really small, it's hard to see. It was especially hard to see through the camera on this video. As you can see, there's a couple times where I'm like poking at it, and I'm trying not to block the camera, and I'm trying to get it to unravel. As you unravel more, you have a little bit more space to hold on to. You don't want to hold too hard because you don't want to bend your paper. But just keep going, poking in to the center and trying to nudge it to unravel. you get to the point towards the end where this is a tiny little coil left in the middle, you can leave that. That's gonna blend in more or less. So you don't have to make yourself crazy doing this part. This is a little bit more for demonstration. But I want to get it a little bit smaller, but it really can be hard to just keep poking at it. But you'll get there. Just about where I want it. I think that will be good. So because we pinched it, it has those nice ridges. It has that vortex kind of look where it coils in one direction, and then you kind of get that line, and it coils again in another direction. Go ahead and gently take it out and add a little bit of glue to the end. And get that to set. If you need to burnish it with some kind of tool, I always like to give a little rub with my needle tool to make sure everything is set. And you can already see you have that classic vortex shape. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you can gently hold it from the sides and then turn that top and bottom in the same direction, and it'll really kind of drive those layers home and give you that shape that you are looking for. Like I said earlier in the video, I was using the 3/8 inch wide strips for demonstration purposes, but this technique will absolutely work on your 1/8 inch paper. I wouldn't go any smaller, but this is perfect for making little flowers. They almost look automatically like little coiled up roses. You can also experiment with using multiple colors. I will say it's a little tricky to get both strips going in the same pattern equally. That one worked out really well, but then here's one that I had trouble with where the center just wasn't coming together, but that outside paper had the vortex. They just weren't coiling in the same way. But really don't be afraid to make mistakes with this technique. Grab yourself some extra paper, give yourself some grace. Sometimes they just don't come together, and that is okay. You will get better with practice. Like I said, I've been trying to do this for a very long time. I've been trying to make this video for a very long time. It just wasn't clicking for me. I hope this video makes it click for someone else. Really, as long as you do the pinch and use a circle template, they will come together. You might make some mistakes, and as always, that is okay. What can you do with this shape? Like I said before, they automatically look like little rosebuds. There's videos out there of people making them into jewelry, modifying the shape, adding them together to make larger flowers. There's a lot of ideas out there. I'll try to come up with some new ones as well. As always, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to leave those in the comments, and I will answer them as soon as I can. I will leave links to Azlina's videos, also supplies that you might need down in the description box. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.